Hello everyone, Joshua Jones here with EffinAMtG, bringing you another Commander deck tech, and this I am truly excited for. So, I'm not running any of the cards that are in the actual set because the only cards at the time that I made this deck were these two cards. But get ready because we're going to have some fun with Pir and Toothy. It's time for the Imagination Battle Bond. These two are pretty nifty. Partners back, this time with Toothy and Pear. So, Imaginative Rascal is 2 and a green for a 1/1. Not great, but it's a human legendary creature that partners with Toothy. If one or more counters would be put on a permanent your team controls, that many plus one of each of those kinds of permanents are put on that permanent instead. So the key word here is permanent. Kind of like Hardened Scales meets Doubling Season, I think would be the most accurate depiction of that. And then Toothy here, his buddy, is an illusion, but don't worry, if it's targeted by a spell or ability, you won't have to sacrifice this guy. And Toothy says, whenever you draw a card, put a 1/1 counter on Toothy. When Toothy leaves the battlefield, draw a card for each 1/1 counter on it. So a little bit of card draw, a little bit of extra counters, a little bit 2-drop into or 3-drop into a 4-drop. So these two are super cool. So I went ahead and put a couple decks together. So I'm gonna warn you right now. This deck that we're about to look at is $400, but I also made another deck that's $100. So you could have the $400 option or the $100 option. Both the links to the deck text will be in the description. But this is like the most optimal build I can think of just for fun, like what I would do with the deck if I bought it. Now I haven't played with this deck. I think it'll work. It's the synergy's real. So let's get right into it, like we always do with ramp cards. So we're running Birds of Paradise and Soul Ring here. So a little turn one ramp. We're running Gyro Sage, Rishgar, Astral Cornucopia, and Everflowing Chalice. So you see the counters start to matter on our 2 and 3 drop ramp spells. So we got 1-drop ramp, 2-drop ramp, 3-drop ramp, split between creatures and artifacts evenly, and these ones all care about counters. Then we're running some Planeswalkers because permanents, they get extra ones. And even though we're only a 2-color Simic deck, I am running Crystalline Crawler because you can add counters onto it later. And then, of course, if your commander happens to be out by the time that you play this, you're going to end up getting 3 even though you're only spending 2 mana. Technically, Crewfix isn't ramp, but I included it here because your mana doesn't empty, so that kind of like gets you extra mana that you're not really supposed to have. We move on to draw with Jace and Tameo. So these are just great draw engines. The negative on Tameo lets you draw for tap creatures, and then the emblem gets you free advantage because whenever a card goes to your graveyard, you put it back into your hand with that emblem. And then with Jace, you just tick up to scry and then draw. So that's an excellent ability as well. And then with your commander, you're getting, well, with one half of your commander, the Pir side, you're getting extra counters on these guys. So that's pretty cool. Then we have Sylvan Library, Rhystic Study, Brief of the Hunt, and the Guild Mage. So the Guild Mage lets you have creatures enter with the extra counters this turn, and then also you can remove counter to draw a card. Brief of the Hunt for when you're getting hit with combat damage with creatures with counters to draw cards. Rhystic Study because it's great. I normally like to run Mystic or more, but with your commander out, I'm not. Oh, actually, you know what? I think it might be a May, so you don't have to worry about that upkeep. But still, I just thought these were better. And then Sylvan Library because it's amazing, and I wasn't running budget for this one, so of course, we get to finally highlight that card a little bit. Here we got Syndicate Resurgence. We're running 36 creatures in the deck plus our commanders, which is 38 total. So plenty of creatures we're going to be casting and then doubling up on our mana. As Lifecrafters is a scry and to pay mana that we have extra to draw cards. And then Fathom Mage, cares about counters, and Prime Speaker to care about counters. So just excellent sources of card draw here. Then we move into the removal suite. So the removal suite, we have Tygon Predator and Bane of Progress for a little targeted artifact and enchantment removal, and then a wipe of artifact and enchantment removal. Then we have Trossodon, Woodfall Primus, Acidic Slime, or Rex Sage. So Rex Sage, Acidic Slime, more enchantment removal, and then Pharos for 3 target non-creature permanents, and then we'll Woodfall Primus some repetitiveness because that persist trigger is usually going to get negated with the +1/+1 counter, so this thing will just keep coming back and coming back and coming back. Here we have Argentum Armor, Oblivion Stone, Ratchet Bomb, and Lux Cannon. So Ratchet Bomb is great against like token strategies, and then you can like pump up the counters, and then get rid of things that way. And then Lux Cannon because we're playing with some counters, and then Argentum Armor because it gets rid of any permanent you want, and then the O Stone here I just have in here as a way to like pump mana into it to save some of our stuff, but still be able to wipe the board. All right, now we're going to talk about some giving counters and things that care about counters and like pumping up counters on other stuff. So of course we have the Imaginative Rascal, which puts an extra counter on all your permanents, and then the Hardened Skulls. So I wanted a little duplicate with this effect because we are a creature heavy deck. Then we have Progenitor Mimic, which I included in this slide because we have so many things that give counters that you could Progenitor Mimic one of them and then continue to get copies of that creature that's giving out the counters every turn. Then with the Forgotten Agent, for example, would be a good mimic target because whenever you go to your upkeep, you can move counters from it to other things. The Crage here just straight up puts a counter on a creature, and then it also has all the activated abilities of that creature. So if it has any, then the experiment gets it as well. Master Biomancer just a solid card for making sure things come in with counters. Here we have stuff that doubles up the counters. So we have the Whole Cloud, of course, Deep Blue Skate, which is a one-time effect, Colonial Hydra, which has to deal with it attacking and doubling the counters on your creatures, and then the activated ability on the Whole Cloud, of course, and then Doubling Season because it's getting reprinted. I found out from a friend that it's supposed to be getting reprinted, so we'll see that it ought to be pretty good. So bring the price down, but like I said, this isn't a budget deck, so. And then we got the Takers. So Champion Lambholm and Tuskar Captain are good targets for getting counters on them. And then you get some Trample and some Unblockable. Alter Ego, which comes in with extra counters, gives you a little bit of utility. Nissa Stewart gives you some utility because you get to put things into play, scry, and then get some creatures. Solid Planeswalker. Hangerback and Chasm to give you a little bit of creatures when they die. So that's pretty good. And then we have Walking Ballista for a little ping effect, Toothies for some card draw, Manipulator for a little bit of taking other people's stuff, and then Sage Bowers to get extra turns out of. Here we have the ways we're going to win. So this deck wins with effects like Craterhoof Behemoth, Decimator of the Provinces, Herald to get in for some unblockable, and then Blightsteel as a little infect win, pretty nasty. Then we have Helix Pinnacle, Darksteel Reactor, Epic Struggle, and Mechanized Production. So these are kind of like our fun little alternate win conditions that have to deal with creatures or artifacts or counters. So Helix Pinnacle, you put all your extra mana into it to get counters on it, and if you get 100, you win that way. It also has Shroud, and then Darksteel, you only need to get it up to 20 counters, and it has Indestructible. Epic if you end up with 20 or more creatures, and then Mechanized Production if you end up with 8 or more artifacts. So just fun ways to win with this deck. And then finally, you may have noticed that this deck so far, we don't run any instants or sorceries. In fact, all we're running is permanent. So of course, I included the Primal Surge Lab Maniac win. So basically, if you cast Primal Surge, your whole deck will go onto the battlefield, and then the next time you draw, you'll win with Lab Maniac. This deck runs 3 protection spells and 36 lands. So all the lands that we're running are 7 forests, 9 islands, and then a bunch of duels. And then you see here on the slide we have cards like Reborn, which gives you Graft 1, Oran Reef, which lets you put counters on green creatures that enter the battlefield, Opal Palace, which lets you put counters on your commander, Vivid Grove and Vivid Creek, which lets you take counters off to add color of any mana, Heart of Progress, which lets you put counters on each creature that enter the battlefield this turn, and then Blighted Woodland for some utility, Blotted Cataract for some utility, so some ramp and draw in our mana base. Rogue Passage for some unblockable on our mana base, and then Mainstream Network, which is a nice little storage land. For protection, we're running Lightning Greaves to protect one of our partners or any of our other valuable creatures, along with Asceticism, which lets us regenerate creatures and make them so they can be the target of spells or abilities. And I included Eternal Witness in the protection spells because it helps us get back one of our important cards from our graveyard should they be put there, like primarily our Doubling Seasons and our what do you call it now? I was just thinking about that. Oh, our Lab Maniacs. In case they go in there, we want to get them back. We can with some E-Witness, so a little bit of protection there. This deck's running the Jace emblem, the Tameo emblem for the tokens, the Thopter, Elf Druid, Beast, and the Squid. And if you want to, you can include a clone token if you can get a hold of one. But other than that, just running those 6 tokens. So like I said, the top one here, 110445 MTG Goldfish in the description below is going to be your $400 deck. And then if you want, there's also 1104,750, which is going to be your $100 version of the deck. The Imaginative Rascal and Imaginary Friend are just, I don't know, seems super cheesy. There are plenty of other Simic decks that are kind of like a little bit better with like just overall like as a commander, but I don't think that there's going to be any that are going to be this fun. And I also think that obviously like there's counters matter decks like Atraxa and things like that will be more consistent, more competitive, give you access to 2 more colors in the case of Atraxa anyways. And but this deck though, like you're never gonna like. I mean, just look at this. This is just straight silly. It seems like such a good time, and by all means, don't try out the $400 deck. Maybe don't even try out any of my builds for them. Maybe try the $100 one. But whatever you do, maybe play Battle Bond, draft it with some buddies, and have some fun with it. And then when you're done, this seems like a cool Battle Bond seems like a cool thing to make like a cube out of, like maybe. So I don't know. I don't know if it's a small talk worthy, but I might have to make a video on that once some more stuff comes out for it. So yep. I don't know. That's it. Seems like a lot of fun. So I'll hit the credits here and leave you to the comments. So if you want to email me, I'm at EffinAMtG@gmail.com. Wizards of the Coast is who makes Magic the Gathering. You can find them at magic.wizards.com. The prices today, I didn't change this slide, but I didn't include any prices, but the prices were just straight off MTG Goldfish. So same with the deck list. That's where you can find them. And then the GLHF logos comes from my buddy John Hill. He's at Dream Gray on Twitch. So I know he does some Legends of Zelda stuff over there, and it's pretty cool. So yep. I don't know. This deck was a lot of fun to make, and I know I'm gonna draft Battle Bonds and start like putting some stuff together. I have a Simic deck right now that I'm thinking about tearing apart just to do this. And or actually, like I run a Troxa right now, and I have a Simic deck, so I might have like a good amount of cards that this deck takes. I definitely don't have like a Helix Pinnacle that card's like $12, but it's kind of like like it's so weird to buy. Anyways, fun deck. I'm excited to have brought it to you. Thanks so much for watching. If you haven't and you want, go ahead and subscribe, like, share, comment. Let me know what you think about Battle Bonds, and as some more stuff comes out, maybe we'll confirm. I'm pretty sure Doubling Season's getting reprinted, but yeah, I've been hearing about it for a while, so we'll see. And if it gets confirmed, we'll see. All right. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.